Okay, I am back for a review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It is season 9, episode 12, Into the Woods. But it also should be a verse from Houdini, Friends. How many of us have them? I'm here with my notes, and I'm here with my beautiful glass that my sorority sister gave me, and drinking my mango juice. So, I could boil it down to you by saying this. We could equate this episode with saying, I'm supposed to be your friend, and that person who you say is your friend is not your friend, and I'm your friend, and you should have my back because we're supposed to be friends. And why aren't you talking about her to me because you and I are friends, and you should not be talking to her because we are friends? And if you're going to be friends with her, don't talk about me. And why is it that you are my friend and you didn't show up for my event? We are friends and I love you like a sister. That's pretty much the whole episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I can't bore you with just that. I got to give you a full review. So here we go. Kenya and Phaedra are at the camping store because they're going to go glamping. And Portia is with her anger management coach. And she was talking about what happened in the last episode. And the anger management coach thinks that she should bring somebody, like an AA when you have a sponsor, or like the real, rich celebrity people, when they are going to things and they haven't quite gotten their recovery together, they get a sponsor and the sponsor goes with them so they can help them work through their issues, and so that when things come up, they're not going to drink. So this is going to be for Portia, that she has somebody. She says there's no way she's going to go to this camping trip without somebody. She's teetering on whether she should go or not. Phaedra's talking to Kenya, and I really did not like Kenya on this episode. Please, whoever is Team Twirl, please don't come after me. It's just an observation. I'm not team anybody. I'm team who I think is right. So I really didn't like Kenya this episode because she was really just, I don't know what the right word is, but I don't know. We'll keep going on, and I'll explain why I didn't like her. But Phaedra and Kenya are at the camping place, and she's really trying to say, Portia has changed. Kenya said that the anger management's not working, and Phaedra said, oh, it's working. And I was like, yeah, it's working, because you guys are making a point, well, Kenya's making a point that she pops off and goes off on somebody, yet she didn't go off on you. She didn't go and try to rake you or pull your hair or drag you or chase you down the street. She was trying to leave. So something's working. She's trying not to have conflict. So I agree with Phaedra on that Kenya could have went off on her, but she didn't. She walked away like you're supposed to when there's conflict. I would walk away. So Cynthia's speaking with Matt. Evidently, Cynthia, they recapped what happened, and that this was Matt's 4th incident vandalizing her property. Now, I know people are feeling one way or another about the thing with Kenya and Matt, but this is the 4th incident that he has gone and she hasn't done anything. That is really reckless. And I'm going to make the assumption that every time he does something, it escalates and is costing her more money. There's no way that I would be paying for all the damage that he's doing to my property. But Cynthia decides to meet up with Matt. Kenya knows that she's going to do that. And she wanted to get Matt's perspective, just boil it down to something I can take back to Kenya regarding why is it you guys have these conflicts. And so he just says it's respect and communication. And that he says he doesn't know what he wants right now. He says he loves her and he wanted to marry her, but he doesn't know. Neither one of them should be together. And he's a drama king. She's a drama queen. They both feed off on each other. There are people who are very toxic to each other, that they wouldn't do anything with anyone else. And maybe when Matt is a little bit older, maybe they could rekindle something, but I just don't see it happening. And then also, Kenya pushes people's buttons. She's very good at that. And when you know how to push someone's buttons, everybody knows, when you're in a relationship, how to push someone's buttons. I know how to push my husband's buttons. He knows how to push mine. And when you know how to push someone's buttons, you either got to be able to not take it there to where it's going to be destructive, or realize, you're not going to get me. You got my button, but you're not going to get me. And Matt is just not, he's not mature to do that. And frankly, I don't think Kenya's mature to do that. Cynthia talked to Matt saying that she has baggage too. Well, they both come as somewhat broken people. I don't know if they're a good match. I don't think they're a good match, but clearly there's issues that if you're going to be destroying people's things, it's really best not to, because she could press charges against Matt, and he doesn't need that. So Candy is doing a surprise white party for Shamia for her engagement, and evidently Cynthia didn't know what a white party was. She was like, yeah, I'm dressed. There was not you had white in your pants, but you weren't dressed. Now, girl, you know what a white party is. And we know she was playing dumb, and then Candy invited people who Shamia doesn't even know. She invited this girl Hazel, who's an aspiring singer. How do you invite people who don't know, that the guest of honor doesn't know, to something as intimate as an engagement party? That was weird to me. And Sheree, she doesn't even show up dressed properly for the white party. However, for the confessionals, she was wearing white. So I didn't understand that. Marla was there. She wasn't wearing white. She was wearing all black. And of course, we find out that Portia isn't coming. Portia is feeling a little kind of, open wound to what's been going on. She ain't feeling Candy, and she just didn't want to go, and it's probably best. But Shamia was very upset. She started crying because Portia's her best friend, and the girl's like, look, we're not going to do that right now. This is your day. We're going to enjoy it and all that stuff. So, I didn't understand this whole thing, and this is one of the things I don't like Sheree, but it was going back and forth about Sheree talking about what Phaedra said, and then while Shamia is upset about Portia, Candy brings up something, I forget what it was, but then Sheree decides in the most inopportune time that this is a good time to tell her that Phaedra was talking about you and your friend didn't stick up for you, that she didn't say anything, and that Shamia then felt some kind of way because when people were talking about Phaedra allegedly dating Mr. Chocolate, Portia had a lot to say and she stuck up for Phaedra. But when Phaedra was saying that Shamia was screwing everyone who was married in Atlanta, Portia kept her mouth shut. So Shamia's like, well, I'm going to address that, but that's not cool. And they did pull some receipts, as Bravo does, saying, when Candy's assistant was talking about Portia being dumb as a box of rocks, Shamia was like, let's be focused, and we're not going to talk about my friends. So we know how Shamia's loyalty is, but I'm not sure about Portia. So Kenya is at Cynthia's lake house, and I hope King and Twirl have their flea and tick meds, because she is deep out in the woods and you're going to pick up some ticks. And Cynthia tells Kenya that she spoke to Matt, and that what Matt is saying is that he is reacting to her. Kenya was really pissed off because she's like, I'm dating a child. Well, if you think you're dating a child, why don't you stop dating children? Because see, I don't think most women, mature women, or date men who they think is immature. So if you are saying you're dating a child, why are you wasting your time? That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, Kenya walked off because she's like, it's always my fault. It's always my fault. I don't think Cynthia was trying to say it was all your fault. What she is saying is that you do have ownership. Now, Matt is responsible for his reaction and his behavior, but you do have some ownership. It is two people. And unless he's getting angry with himself, he's having a relationship with you, and you do have a way of pushing his buttons. Whether you're not being respectful or you are condescending, or you may scold him like a child. Even an immature man wants to still be treated like a man and not emasculated. Nobody wants that. And so she left because she was mad at Cynthia. So Portia's over at Shamia's house, and Portia didn't want to be around Candy, so she was telling her why she didn't show up, even though she gave her some beautiful champagne flutes, very pretty. Shamia's crying, and I don't know. I don't really understand all this crying. I have good friends, and I would have been disappointed if my friends didn't show up to something. However, I don't know if I would be that emotional, but maybe that's just me. But she was also upset that she felt that Portia didn't defend her. And they, of course, rolled the receipts, because when Phaedra brought up the fact that allegedly Shamia was busy screwing married men around Atlanta, Sheree was saying, "You are a lie." And Portia didn't say anything. So even Sheree even had something to say, like, nah, that's not true. But Portia went quiet, and she says, I really don't remember what I said. And Shamia's like, well, you know what? You need to check your friend. Kind of like what Portia said to Phaedra about Kenya, that you need to be careful about your new friend. So Shamia said that about Portia, that you need to be careful about your new friend Phaedra. And then she also said, I've been your friend for 10 years. I love you to death. But, Candy warned that Phaedra was talking behind your back. Now, Portia says she doesn't see that side of Phaedra, but then I was thinking to myself, you guys watch the show just like we do. And then they rolled the thing back about Portia having a small head because she had a little brain. Now, I know you watched it because all of the reality people watch it. That's why they get mad again. This is one of the reasons why they get mad, and they're mad by the time they get to the reunion, because they've seen stuff played out the way we see it. So I'm not buying it, Portia. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't know what your allegiance is with Phaedra, but I'm not buying it. So the day of the glamping, this was so funny. So Kenya is busy putting her stuff out, and it's all cute and really nice spread. And Sheree is outside her front yard, her front porch. And you can see the blue, tape for construction. And she said that her house is still under construction. However, once again, Kenya's living in her house. It's furnished. It's done. And Sheree is going to go and badmouth Kenya, saying, well, I'm not going to do anything, halfway done. I'm going to make sure that, you don't have to wear a mask to my place. But you got, Kroger style, nothing against Kroger, but you got Kroger style bought stuff in the packages, and you didn't even put anything out on a plate. You didn't even make it look nice. And then I'm surprised Marlo, see, this is these alliances. Marlo didn't say nothing. Now, if Marlo was over somebody else's house and they had all of those prepackaged stuff, Marlo would have talked bad about him. But she didn't say anything bad about Sheree, right? Because now they're friends. That was just so shady. So anyway, it was funny because Sheree had a little card table and her little baked goods, looking like she was going to be selling some baked goods, like she was selling cupcakes for 25 cents for a fundraiser or something. It didn't look very adult. Anyway, so Kenya is over at Cynthia's. Oh no, Cynthia's over at Kenya's, and she wants to know if they're good and they made up. And she just says, I want to know if you have my back. And she's like, yeah, I have your back, but you are a drama queen, and if you sat and listened, you would know that I had your back. So they made up. So no one's sure if Portia's coming, but she is coming, and she is bringing her sister Lauren. And Lauren looks so cute. I really like Lauren. I like her a lot. I think Lauren is a good person to have her back. She is her sister, and Lauren isn't afraid to say, yeah, I have your back, but you are a drama queen, and if you sat and listened, you would know that I had your back. So they made up. So no one's sure if Portia's coming, but she is coming, and she is bringing her sister Lauren. And Lauren looks so cute. I really like Lauren. I like her a lot. I think Lauren is a good person to have her back. She is her sister, and Lauren isn't afraid to say what she means. So I think that'll be good. So Portia is talking to Sheree, saying that, you put me in a really bad situation, opening your mouth, stirring the pot, and, that's not cool. Sheree says that she's going to be the voice of truth. Girl just trying to keep her peach, and I ain't mad at her. Candy brings Hazel, the aspiring actress, to the glamping trip, and Phaedra was feeling some kind of way. And I can't say I'm mad at Phaedra. Now, here's the deal. So Sheree is bringing Marlo, so there's going to be conflict between Marlo and Kenya. Sheree did that on purpose because Sheree doesn't like Kenya right now. Portia brings her sister Lauren, but I think that's okay because Lauren has been part of a lot of stuff. So that's okay. And of course, everybody likes Lauren, so no problem. But I don't understand why Candy brought Hazel other than to piss Phaedra off, because Hazel has nothing to do with the group. And this was supposed to be a way to get the ladies to bond. How are you going to bond by bringing somebody who has no idea who you are and what you're about? Case in point, which, I didn't really care for Marlo on this. So Marlo's saying, for part of the glamping, we're going to do Ask Marlo. Like, who cares about you? But the girl asked a legitimate question. She doesn't know anybody. She's like, and why are we asking you about stuff? So Marlo was being all shady and stuff and being kind of snarky. And Hazel was like, okay, which I would have asked the question too. But Candy, that was in poor taste to be bringing somebody that's not even part of the group in any shape or form. And then Portia brings out her little doctor's note about she's cleared to go to the glamping trip, and Kenya's feeling some kind of way. And here we go. Kenya is being really agitated and really, I don't know what the right word is, but for someone who is supposedly concerned about Portia's well-being as far as, how she's going to behave, you don't go and, as I say from the last time, poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. It's just not necessary. So obviously she's having some issues about Matt. She's feeling some kind of way, and then she just wants to pick on Portia. But Kenya was no reason to do that. She'd be like, oh, that's cute. I got the doctor's note, whatever, and be done with it. But no, she wants to pick a fight. So I like the fact that Lauren did step in, stuck up for Portia, and said, if you give her time to talk, maybe, because they didn't snap at Lauren. So I think it was a good choice for Portia to bring Lauren. So the trip ends, and next week is going to be juicy. So that's all I have for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm all caught up with my reviews, and I'm glad that you've hung out, and thank you so much for checking out my review. You can find me on other